Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one, the title is a quote from Nisargadatta Maharaj, where he said, "When I know that I'm nothing, that is wisdom. When I know that I'm everything, that is love. And between these two, my life moves." It's a beautiful quote, and if it's understood, makes perfect sense. Now, remember, when he says, when I know that I'm nothing, he's not talking about nothing as nothingness. He's pointing to when I know that I'm no thing. You see? When I know that I'm no thing, that is wisdom. Because I am no thing. Thing meaning a person, an identity, an individual. When I know that I am no thing, that is wisdom. When I know that I'm everything, again, when I know that I am everything implies every single thing, everything that is perceived. Because why? Because everything is made out of the same energy, and we are that energy. Well, that is what is referred to as love. You see? So I made a video not long ago which is entitled The Proof That Love Exists, I believe. So I'll put the link on the description. Check that video. I think you're gonna like it. So when I know that I'm no thing, not a body, that is wisdom. When I know that I'm everything, that is love. And my life moves between the two because I am not distracted by the thoughts that suggest that this is who I am, quote unquote personal thoughts, and I am not distracted by the world of appearance that suggests that I am separate from everything else, then overlooking the fact that everything and me, or me, quote unquote, are one and the same. So, when you live from that space, you cannot help but to love everything because you're actually loving yourself because there's only one, and not even one. See, not two, but again, this just play on words. All there is that is. And then you may say, yeah, but how about the people who do certain things that are, attacks or whatever? Well, interestingly enough, in A Course in Miracles, there's a line that talks about whether if it's not love, it's a call for love. Let me just translate into this particular way of talking. It is as if though you're seeing a part of yourself that in the world of appearances may seems to be identified with the thought system of fear. You see? So when you see that quote-unquote person attacking, you're not seeing an attack, you're seeing a part of yourself that is asking to be loved. In other words, is asking to be reminded of who really is. You see? Because in the end, if love is all there is, because I am all that there is, then everything has to be a part of it. When we talk about God is all there is, it's like when you're dreaming at night. The mind is the only thing that there is, nothing else. And all the things that appear in the mind, or as you say, in the dream state, all of these are appearing in the mind. They seem to be appearing in God, even when they are not true. So, when you see someone who just, insults you, all you're seeing is an aspect of yourself expressing its thought system, whatever. If they're identified with fear, well, that's what you see. Well, that is not an attack, it's a call for love, it's a call for remembering, for recognition. So what you do is quote unquote, as you remember who you are, because you know who you are, then you become an example that shows that seeming person that they have the choice to choose seemingly the same thought system that you're choosing. You see? So when you remain peaceful, because love is all there is, and you see that that is just a call for love, you're becoming an example that that person can choose that same thought system that you are identified with, and that is how the other person heals. And paradoxically, the healing of the other person has to be a representation of your own healing. You see? Now, you have to remember that language is limiting, and we're using language as if the person had a choice. Well, remember, who would have a choice? If I am being dreamt, you see, do I really have a choice? In reality, I don't, because whatever the mind is dreaming, the mind is the one that seems to have the choice. But this audios or these videos or this information is not for you, the person. There's no person, there's no you. It's beyond you. It's like the mind dreaming the dream, in which appears to be a you listening or watching a video and appears to be a me recording one. But you as well as I, we're both a projection from that same mind or that same whatever. Well, that is talking to itself using these two seeming instruments. So again, don't keep the message at the level of the person, because you're going to get lost. And this is usually what happens. We try to apply truth to the experience or to illusions. You see? The mind that is dreaming a dream, whatever happens in the dream is just a projection from that same mind. When in the dream, the mind seems to be telling itself, withdraw the attention from the dream, it's not the character telling to another character. It's the mind talking to itself through the appearance of these two characters, which are dreamt by that same mind. She's trying to remind itself that it can wake up. That's what happens. So right now, that which have never slept anyway, which is ever present, it seems as though that is playing the role as a you, as a me, as a dream, and now is using this same projection to remind itself the truth of who it is. You see? So within the world of appearances, now she is making it doesn't have gender, is making a video, or it's projecting the illusion of a me talking to you, or whatever the case may be, or are you listening to me, but just so we can remember what we are. So in that sense, yes, I don't have a choice. I don't even have the choice to choose the words that I'm choosing, even though it appears as if I do. So we have to learn to play with the paradox. Okay? So, having played with the paradox, and if you have any concerns about this, it's very simple. Go to the video entitled Do We Have Free Will? The link is in the description below. Now, having said that, going back to the seeming appearance of this appearing whatever human experience, when you know who you are, then you must know that everything is a part of you, is what is. Everything, you are everything. And then every appearance that may seem to be identified with thought system of fear, that may seem to attack, is just a part of you that is asked to be loved. In other words, it's like somewhat behind the word saying you are a horrible person, behind those words, what that person is, quote unquote person, is saying really is, I have forgotten who I am, help me remember who I am. You see, that's the call for love. But that's call for love is disguised behind the words, you're a horrible person. Do you see? It's like a little baby. A little baby tell you, I hate you, I can't stand you. And you look at the baby with so much love, because you know that it's just basically, it's a tantrum. That's all, he's just throwing a tantrum. But you don't take it personal. But if an adult tells you that, you take it personal. But it's the same thing. He's throwing a tantrum, but as an adult you think that that's important or that's true or whatever. And with the baby, you may not necessarily believe it. Unless you believe you're a horrible person, and even when the baby says that, you feel hurt. You see? Not a baby, actually a little child, put it this way. A baby wouldn't say anything, right? Just goo goo gaga, right? So if somebody says you're a horrible person, the only way you react is not because the person told you you're horrible, it's because you believe you're horrible, and the person is reflecting back at you what you believe about yourself. You see? So in a way, the call for love is for you to look at your own healing. So either you remember who you are and therefore you become a conduit through which healing happens, or you forget who you are and now the healing is actually an opportunity for you to heal, and that person that is supposedly insulting you is giving you an opportunity to look at the things that have to heal in you. Because a lot of times people say, so if I see a world that people are attacking each other, that means that there's attacking me? Well, it's not that there's attack in you, but if you feel any sensation, if you are reacting to it, there is, fear in you. But if you're not reacting, then you're just seeing how people act when they're in fear. That's when Jesus, when he's crucified, he simply says, within the story, of course, he says, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. They're not attacking me. I'm in peace. I'm fine. The body, you can do anything you want, but you cannot touch who I really am. They don't know what they do, but because they're identified with the feeling of separation, they believe they're separate from me. Therefore, they don't know that they're attacking themselves. You see? They cannot identify with love because they feel that they are something separate from me. But if they knew who they are, they could not attack me because they know that attack on myself or on anyone is attack on themselves. That is what it says, and in the way you judge, you will be judged. You see? Because it's always about you. There's nothing else. So you are everything, and this is the love that we're pointing to. You are no thing, nothing. You see, no thing, and that's the wisdom of not fall into the trap of thinking that you're something separate from the rest. So when that becomes clear, and how that becomes clear, not personally, is just what you rest when you don't identify with the content of the mind. If you don't believe anything the mind is telling you, then you are. You see, this is where this is pointing to. And this are-ness, if you want to call it that, or isness, I don't know, that is love. That is what is. And that is no thing and everything simultaneously. You see, it's no thing and it's everything, because there's no judgment. Without judgment, there's no fear. Without fear, there's love. There's what is, and that's what you are. So we're pointing to the obvious, and the obvious is that you simply are, and this is it. If you don't identify with any thoughts, if you don't believe any thoughts, what remains? What remains is what is. This is what these videos are pointing to, you see? And that isness is no thing and is everything. Consequently, when you know that you're no thing, that is wisdom. When you know that you're everything, that is love. And your life flows between these two. Well, this is inspiration that came through this instrument. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.